So everybody's talking about Peter Thiel's selling all of his NVIDIA stake, and it's like this big deal. It was only $100 million in NVIDIA, like big deal. SoftBank sold their shares. Masa-san made that mistake a long time ago, but they're using that money to fund something else. So you have all this kind of, and the Michael Burry kind of big short selling his stuff, right? So you have all this kind of negative noise, which I think has played into the market. But the Peter Thiel thing is like people don't realize, like, it wasn't just yesterday. It was disclosed in a quarterly report. That could have been any time in the last 3 months. But instead of talking about all that, like, people should be talking about the fact that Warren Buffett just invested $4 billion in Google stock, in Alphabet. Now, if you don't know, like, Warren Buffett's philosophy, this is a guy that made his money off of Coca-Cola, railroads, utilities, like the monopoly stuff, like the boring ass, properties. That's where he made his money. And granted, he did obviously very well. So for this guy to come into Google, the only other real tech stock was when he went into Apple a few years ago, and he went big time into Apple, and Apple appreciated heavily, and he made a ton of money on that. So now you have Warren Buffett, who's usually like this dividend investor, value investor, getting into Alphabet and spending $4 billion doing it. Why aren't people talking about that? Because guess what? Alphabet now, as they're going to grow and do more data centers, whose chips do you think they're buying? They're buying NVIDIA chips. Okay, so, this just goes to show, like, the narrative in the market, you got to really do your research and look at all sides, because if you just went through the Peter Thiel side, you're like, oh my God, the AI bubble, blah, blah. But then why did Warren Buffett just drop $4 billion to buy Alphabet? That's what I'm talking about. Do your research. Don't listen to the headlines. It's super easy to get caught up in the headlines and like do emotional investing. Just let that sink in. A guy that owns utilities and railroads spent $4 billion in tech, Google, AI, Alphabet. He might know something.